The person you love deeply showed your photo to their mother last night. You need to know what she said next. Don't scroll, listen to this because this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now. My beloved child, if these words have found you today, receive them with an open heart because nothing happens by accident. Somewhere last night, while you were resting, thinking about tomorrow, or quietly carrying your own hopes and unanswered questions, the person you love deeply experienced a moment they never expected would become so emotional. It was late in the evening. The world had grown quiet. Most lights had been turned off. Conversations throughout the house had slowly faded into silence. Yet one room remained softly illuminated because your soulmate was sitting there with their phone in their hands, staring at your photograph. They had looked at that same picture countless times before, but last night something inside them felt different. They no longer wanted to keep their feelings locked away. They no longer wanted your face to remain a secret known only to their own heart. For several minutes they simply looked at your picture, smiling quietly, remembering your kindness, your patience, your gentle spirit, and the peace they always seemed to feel whenever your name entered their thoughts. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, there comes a moment when hidden feelings become too real to remain hidden, and that moment quietly arrived last night. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now because after taking a deep breath, your soulmate slowly stood up and walked toward another room. Every step felt heavier than the one before because they knew what they were about to do carried enormous meaning. Their heart was racing. Questions filled their mind. Will she understand? Will she see what I see? Will she understand why this person has become so important to me? Those thoughts echoed inside them as they gently knocked on the door. Their mother looked up with a warm smile and invited them inside. For a few ordinary moments they talked about everyday things, but your soulmate's attention never left the phone resting quietly in their hand. Finally, after gathering every bit of courage they had, they smiled nervously and softly said, "Mom, there's someone I want you to see." My beloved child, those simple words carried far more emotion than anyone else in the room could possibly understand. Listen to this because this message is for you. Slowly they unlocked the phone, opened your picture, and handed it over. For a few seconds there was complete silence. Their mother looked carefully at your photograph without saying a single word. Your soulmate immediately became nervous because the silence seemed much longer than it actually was. They searched their mother's face for any clue about what she might be thinking. Every heartbeat felt louder than the last. Then something completely unexpected happened. Instead of immediately asking questions, their mother smiled very gently. It was not a loud reaction. It was the quiet smile of someone who had noticed something deeper than appearances. She continued looking at your photograph before softly saying, "There is kindness in those eyes." My beloved child, those words immediately touched your soulmate's heart in ways they never imagined possible. Out of everything she could have noticed first, she saw compassion. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because after those first words, the conversation became much deeper than your soulmate expected. Their mother asked simple questions about you. How did you meet? How do they make you feel? What kind of person are they when no one else is watching? Your soulmate smiled through every answer because for the first time they were speaking openly about the person who had quietly become one of the most important parts of their life. They spoke about your honesty. They spoke about your gentle heart. They spoke about the way you encouraged people even when your own life became difficult. They described how you never tried to compete with others but instead quietly celebrated other people's happiness. They talked about your patience during confusing seasons and your ability to remain respectful even when life became challenging. My beloved child, every word spoken that night came directly from the deepest place inside their heart. Nothing was exaggerated because genuine admiration never needs exaggeration. Listen to this because this message is for you. As their mother listened carefully, she noticed something even more meaningful than your photograph. She noticed the way her child's face changed every time your name was spoken. She saw hope where there had once been uncertainty. She saw peace replacing restlessness. She saw sincerity replacing fear. After quietly listening for several minutes, she smiled once again and gently said, "I've never seen you speak about someone like this before." Those words surprised your soulmate because they suddenly realized something themselves. They had never spoken about anyone the way they were now speaking about you. My beloved child, love often becomes visible long before the heart finds the courage to admit it. Perhaps recently you have continued noticing repeating numbers like 111, 222, 333, or 444 during moments when your heart has been searching for reassurance. My beloved child, receive those quiet moments as gentle reminders to continue walking with integrity, patience, kindness, and wisdom. Continue becoming the person I created you to be. Character quietly opens doors that appearances never can. Genuine love is strengthened not by perfection but by honesty, compassion, and consistent goodness. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now because the conversation continued far into the evening. Their mother asked what first drew your soulmate toward you. For a few moments they became completely quiet because they realized the answer was not simple. Finally they smiled and said, "It wasn't just one moment. It was the way they consistently treated people. It was how they remained kind without asking for recognition. It was how peaceful I felt whenever we talked. It was how they inspired me to become a better version of myself." My beloved child, those words carried complete sincerity. They were no longer speaking only about attraction. They were speaking about transformation. They had quietly come to understand that your presence had changed the way they viewed life itself. Listen to this because this message is for you. While that beautiful conversation was taking place, I was also watching your own journey. There were moments when you questioned whether your quiet goodness truly mattered. You wondered if anyone recognized the sacrifices hidden behind your smile. You questioned whether remaining kind in a difficult world was worth the effort. Hear me clearly today, my beloved child. Every unseen act of compassion has continued speaking long after you forgot about it. Every encouraging word has continued living inside hearts you may never fully know. Nothing given with genuine love has ever been wasted. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now because just before the conversation ended, your soulmate's mother looked at your photograph one final time. She became unusually thoughtful. She gently handed the phone back, but before your soulmate could stand up and leave, she quietly spoke a sentence that neither of them will ever forget. The room suddenly became completely silent. Your soulmate felt their heart beating faster as they waited for her next words. She looked directly into their eyes with remarkable calmness and began saying something about you that instantly brought tears to your soulmate's eyes. My beloved child, those words were unlike anything they expected to hear. They were not words of doubt. They were not words of criticism. They were words that completely changed the way your soulmate saw your connection forever. But that extraordinary sentence deserves its own moment because what their mother revealed next uncovered a truth about your heart that your soulmate had never fully understood before. When those words are finally spoken, every question they have quietly carried, every hope they have hidden, and every dream connected to your future together will suddenly begin making sense in a way neither of you ever imagined possible. Don't scroll, listen to this because this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now. My beloved child, after your soulmate handed the phone back to their mother, the room became completely silent. Neither of them spoke for several long moments. The quietness was not uncomfortable. It was the kind of silence that happens when someone is carefully choosing words that carry great importance. Your soulmate searched their mother's face, wondering what she was thinking. Their heart was beating so fast that every second felt like a minute. They had imagined this conversation many times before, but nothing could have prepared them for what happened next. Their mother smiled gently, looked at your photograph one more time, and softly said, "This person doesn't only have a kind face, they have the eyes of someone who has survived things they never talk about." Those words immediately filled the room with emotion. Your soulmate felt tears gathering in their eyes because they knew exactly what she meant. They had seen moments when you smiled while quietly carrying your own struggles. They had noticed how you encouraged everyone else even when your own heart needed encouragement. Yet hearing someone else recognize that same quiet strength without knowing your story completely overwhelmed them. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, truly compassionate hearts often recognize one another without needing many words. Their mother continued looking thoughtfully at your picture before quietly asking, "Have they always been this gentle?" Your soulmate smiled softly and replied, "Yes, even when life gave them reasons not to be." That answer made her pause. She nodded slowly as though she understood something much deeper than appearances. She said, "People like this are becoming rare. Kindness that survives disappointment is one of the strongest forms of courage." Those words settled deeply inside your soulmate's heart. They suddenly realized they had admired your kindness for a long time, but they had never fully understood how extraordinary it truly was. My beloved child, there is a great difference between kindness that exists because life is easy and kindness that remains after life becomes difficult. The second kind changes, lives forever. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because the conversation continued in a way your soulmate never expected. Their mother began asking about the smallest details. She wanted to know how you treated strangers. She wanted to know how you reacted during misunderstandings. She wanted to know whether your kindness remained the same when nobody was watching. Your soulmate answered every question without hesitation because every memory they carried pointed toward the same truth. They spoke about the time you quietly helped someone without asking for credit. They remembered how you remained respectful even during disagreements. They remembered moments when you protected another person's dignity instead of proving yourself right. Every answer seemed to bring another smile to their mother's face. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, genuine character reveals itself through ordinary choices repeated consistently over time. After listening carefully, their mother quietly folded her hands and said something that completely surprised your soulmate. She said, "You know, I haven't met this person, but I can already tell they bring peace into your life." Those words immediately brought tears to your soulmate's eyes because they realized she was right. They had spent so much time thinking about your kindness toward others that they had forgotten how deeply your presence had changed them personally. They remembered how conversations with you always left them feeling calmer. They remembered how your encouragement stayed with them long after your words ended. They remembered how naturally you believed in them during seasons when they struggled to believe in themselves. My beloved child, peace is one of the greatest gifts one heart can quietly give another. Listen to this because this message is for you. Perhaps recently you have continued noticing repeating numbers like 111, 222, 333, or 444 appearing during moments when your heart longs for reassurance. My beloved child, receive those moments as gentle reminders to continue becoming the person I created you to be. Continue protecting your integrity. Continue choosing compassion instead of resentment. Continue offering encouragement without expecting recognition. The quiet beauty of your character continues speaking even when your own ears cannot hear it. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now because the conversation then became much more personal. Their mother looked lovingly at your soulmate and asked, "How do you feel whenever this person is around?" At first your soulmate laughed nervously because they struggled to find words. Finally they whispered, "I feel like I don't have to pretend." The room immediately became quiet again. Their mother smiled knowingly because she understood the meaning behind that simple sentence. Your soulmate continued, "They've never made me feel like I had to become someone else to deserve kindness. They always accepted me while encouraging me to become better." My beloved child, those words came directly from the deepest place inside their heart. They realized your greatest gift had never been perfection. Your greatest gift had been acceptance joined together with gentle encouragement. Their mother reached over and gently placed her hand upon your soulmate's shoulder. She quietly said, "Never underestimate someone who helps you become a better person without trying to control who you are." Those words stayed with your soulmate long after the conversation ended. They realized they had been blessed with something far greater than they once understood. They had encountered a heart that quietly inspired growth instead of fear, hope instead of insecurity, and peace instead of confusion. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, the healthiest love does not shrink another soul. It quietly helps it become everything it was created to be. While this conversation unfolded, I was also watching you. There were moments when you questioned whether your quiet way of loving truly mattered. You wondered whether anyone noticed the patience hidden inside your ordinary conversations. You questioned whether your gentle spirit was strong enough for this world. Hear me clearly today, my beloved child. Every unseen act of grace continues living inside the hearts of people you have touched. You may never hear every story. You may never know every life quietly changed by your compassion. But nothing offered with genuine love has ever disappeared. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now, because just before your soulmate stood up to leave the room, their mother spoke once more. This time her voice carried remarkable certainty. She looked directly into your soulmate's eyes and softly said, "If this person is truly everything you've described tonight, don't ever allow fear to make you lose someone whose heart is this rare." Those words completely overwhelmed your soulmate. They had expected advice. They had expected questions. They had never expected such heartfelt encouragement. Tears quietly rolled down their face because they realized the conversation had become something much greater than simply showing a photograph. It had become a reminder of the extraordinary value of genuine character. Listen to this, because this message is for you. Your soulmate quietly returned to their room carrying more gratitude than they had ever experienced before. They looked once again at your photograph, but this time they no longer saw only someone they cared about. They saw someone whose quiet goodness had been recognized even by a person meeting you only through stories and a single picture. They whispered softly, "I don't want to take this gift for granted." Those words became a quiet promise inside their own heart. My beloved child, continue protecting the beautiful spirit I have placed within you. Continue choosing honesty when shortcuts seem easier. Continue offering kindness without demanding applause. Continue believing that genuine character always reveals itself in its proper season. The conversation from last night has not yet finished changing your soulmate's heart. There is still one final truth waiting to be revealed. Before another evening arrives, their mother will unexpectedly remember something from her own past after seeing your photograph. She will share a story that connects deeply with your journey, and when your soulmate hears why your picture reminded her of someone she loved long ago, they will understand that your connection carries a meaning far deeper than they ever imagined. That revelation will change everything they believe about your future together and prepare them for the most emotional chapter of this entire journey. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now. My beloved child, after that unforgettable conversation ended, your soulmate believed the evening had already given them everything they needed to hear. They quietly returned to their room holding the phone close to their heart, replaying every word their mother had spoken. They thought the night was finally over. They believed they would simply carry those encouraging words into tomorrow. But I had one more moment prepared that neither of them expected. Just as your soulmate was about to leave, their mother gently called their name one more time. There was something different in her voice. It was softer, deeper, almost as if an old memory had suddenly awakened inside her heart. Your soulmate turned around and saw her still looking toward the doorway, lost in thought. For several seconds she said nothing. Then she quietly whispered, "Wait. There's something about this person that reminds me of someone I knew many years ago." The room immediately became silent once again. Your soulmate slowly walked back and sat down beside her, sensing that whatever she was about to share carried far greater meaning than either of them realized. Listen to this, because this message is for you. My beloved child, their mother looked toward your photograph once again before taking a slow breath. She smiled gently, but there were tears beginning to gather in her eyes. She softly said, "When I look at this picture, I don't just see someone's face. I see peace. I see humility. I see someone who carries strength without needing the world to notice it. Your soulmate listened carefully, unable to look away. Then she continued, many years ago, someone very important taught me that the strongest people are often the quietest. They don't need to prove their goodness because they simply live it every day. Looking at this picture reminds me of that lesson. My beloved child, those words reached your soulmate in a way nothing else had. Until that moment they believed they were the only one who saw the extraordinary qualities within you. Now they realized your character could be recognized even by someone who had never met you. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now because the story their mother shared next completely changed the atmosphere inside the room. She began speaking about her younger years, about a season when life became difficult and uncertainty surrounded her family. During that time, she met someone whose kindness quietly carried everyone through those difficult days. That person never asked for praise. They never reminded anyone of the sacrifices they made. They simply continued showing up with compassion, patience, and hope. The reason I remember them after all these years, she said softly, is because they made everyone around them feel safe. Then she looked directly at your photograph again and quietly added, when I look into these eyes, I feel that same peace. My beloved child, your soulmate felt chills run through their entire body. They had always struggled to explain why your presence felt different from anyone else's. In a single sentence, their mother had finally given words to what their heart had always known. Listen to this because this message is for you. Your soulmate smiled through tears and softly asked, "Do you really think someone can carry that kind of heart?" Their mother answered without hesitation. Yes. But those people are rare. They often go unnoticed because they don't seek attention. They quietly become the reason other people heal. Those words echoed through the room like a gentle prayer. Your soulmate immediately remembered countless moments when you encouraged others while quietly carrying your own burdens. They remembered how you listened before speaking. They remembered how you made people feel important without asking anything in return. They realized that every story they had heard about you over the past day pointed toward the exact same truth. Your goodness had never been an act. It was simply the way your heart had chosen to live. Perhaps recently you have continued noticing repeating numbers like 111, 222, 333, 444, or 777 during moments when your heart has been searching for reassurance. My beloved child, receive those quiet moments as reminders to remain faithful to the person I am shaping you into. Continue choosing kindness when bitterness seems easier. Continue choosing humility when recognition appears tempting. Continue believing that genuine character speaks louder than any reputation ever could. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because after sharing that story, their mother became unusually quiet. She looked out the window toward the night sky and whispered something that completely surprised your soulmate. She said, "If this person has remained kind after everything life has placed before them, then don't ever mistake that kindness for weakness. It takes incredible courage to keep a gentle heart in a difficult world." Those words immediately brought fresh tears to your soulmate's eyes. They remembered moments when people misunderstood your quiet nature. They remembered times when your patience was taken for granted. Suddenly they understood something they had never fully appreciated before. Every act of compassion you offered had required strength. Every gentle response had been a decision. Every peaceful choice had been an act of courage. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, while your soulmate was experiencing this awakening, I was also watching your own journey. There were nights when you wondered if anyone truly understood your heart. You questioned whether remaining gentle had made you appear unnoticed. You wondered if people only remembered louder voices while overlooking quiet faithfulness. Hear me clearly today. I have seen every unseen act of kindness. I have seen every moment you chose forgiveness instead of resentment. I have seen every silent prayer, every hidden sacrifice, and every decision to remain true to your values. Nothing has escaped my attention. As the evening grew later, your soulmate asked one final question. Mom, if you were in my place, what would you do? She smiled warmly before answering with remarkable certainty. I would never allow fear to speak louder than gratitude. If someone like this has entered your life, don't waste time assuming they already know how much they mean to you. Tell them. Appreciate them. Protect their heart while you still have the opportunity. Those words settled deeply inside your soulmate's spirit. They realized they had spent too much time hoping for the perfect moment instead of recognizing that gratitude belongs in the present. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now because after leaving the room, your soulmate sat alone holding your photograph once again. This time they did not simply look at your smile. They looked at every detail, remembering everything they had learned over the last 24 hours. They whispered softly, I thought I loved this person because of how they made me feel. Now I realize I admire them because of who they truly are. My beloved child, admiration rooted in character grows stronger than admiration rooted only in emotion. It becomes lasting. It becomes steady. It becomes something capable of surviving every season. Listen to this because this message is for you. Before going to sleep, your soulmate quietly wrote a few words inside a notebook they rarely shared with anyone. They wrote, Tonight I discovered that real beauty is not found in appearances. It is found in a heart that continues choosing goodness even when life becomes difficult. If I am ever given another opportunity to honor this connection, I will never again overlook the quiet strength that first drew me toward them. After writing those words, they closed the notebook, placed it beside your photograph, and whispered one final prayer asking for wisdom, patience, and courage. My beloved child, this journey has not yet reached its end. There is still one final chapter waiting to unfold. Tomorrow, your soulmate will unexpectedly discover something you once did that even their mother never imagined. It is a hidden act of love that remained completely unknown because you never wanted credit for it. When that final truth is revealed, both your soulmate and their mother will sit in complete silence, overwhelmed by the depth of your character. In that moment they will both realize they were never simply talking about someone with a beautiful smile. They were talking about a soul whose quiet compassion had been changing lives long before anyone stopped to notice. And when that final revelation reaches their hearts, my beloved child, every conversation from that unforgettable night will suddenly reveal its true purpose, preparing both of them for an ending filled not with doubt, but with gratitude, hope, and a love rooted in the deepest respect. Don't scroll, listen to this because this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now. My beloved child, this is the final chapter of the unforgettable night that began with a simple photograph. Neither your soulmate nor their mother realized that one quiet decision would uncover so many hidden truths about your heart. They believed the evening had already reached its emotional conclusion. They believed every meaningful word had already been spoken. But I had prepared one final moment, a moment that would leave both of them sitting together in complete silence, unable to find words strong enough to express what they had just discovered. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, sometimes the greatest testimony about a person's heart comes from something they never intended anyone to know. The following morning began peacefully. Sunlight quietly entered the room as your soulmate sat at the kitchen table, still thinking about everything their mother had shared the night before. Every sentence continued echoing inside their heart. Every memory seemed brighter than before. As they prepared to begin the day, their mother walked into the room carrying a thoughtful expression. She placed a warm cup of coffee on the table, sat beside them, and gently said, "I couldn't stop thinking about that person all night." Your soulmate smiled softly because they admitted they had not been able to stop thinking about you either. Then their mother said something completely unexpected. "There is something I want to know. I don't want to know what they have accomplished. I want to know who they become when nobody is watching." My beloved child, those words revealed the kind of wisdom that only life can teach. Character is never measured by public moments alone. It is revealed in quiet places where recognition is absent. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because later that afternoon, your soulmate unexpectedly met someone who had known you much longer than they had. During the conversation your name naturally came up once again. This person smiled warmly before saying, "There's one thing about them very few people know because they never wanted anyone to find out." Immediately your soulmate remembered the conversation from the previous night. Their heart began beating faster. They quietly asked what had remained hidden for so long. The answer came gently but carried extraordinary weight. Several years ago, someone in our community was struggling through an incredibly difficult season. Almost no one knew they were barely holding everything together. Your person quietly stepped in and helped them. They gave their time, encouragement, and support without ever telling another soul. Even after everything became better, they made us promise never to mention their name because they didn't want gratitude. They only wanted that person to have hope again. My beloved child, the moment those words were spoken, your soulmate could not hold back their tears. They stared at the floor in complete silence because they realized that even after everything they had already learned about you, your greatest acts of love had remained completely invisible. Listen to this because this message is for you. When your soulmate returned home, they immediately shared the story with their mother. She quietly listened without interrupting. When they finished speaking, she covered her mouth as tears slowly filled her eyes. After several moments she whispered, "I knew there was something special about this heart, but now I understand why." She looked toward your photograph once again and softly said, "The rarest people are not the ones who do good so they can be remembered. The rarest people quietly change lives and hope no one ever notices." My beloved child, those words settled over the room with incredible peace. Neither of them spoke for a while because both were overwhelmed by the realization that your kindness had always been much deeper than either of them imagined. Perhaps recently you have continued noticing repeating numbers like 111, 222, 333, 444, or even 777 appearing during quiet moments of reflection. My beloved child, let those moments remind you that nothing done with a sincere heart is ever forgotten. Continue choosing integrity when no applause follows. Continue choosing compassion when no reward seems visible. Continue choosing love because it reflects the person I created you to be, not because someone promises recognition. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because your soulmate's mother suddenly reached over, gently picked up the photograph once more, and smiled through her tears. She quietly said, "Now I understand why your face changes every time you speak about this person. They haven't simply touched your heart. They've helped shape the person you are becoming." Your soulmate looked down for a moment before softly answering, "I don't think I realized how much they changed me until now." They remembered how you encouraged honesty instead of pretending. They remembered how you celebrated their victories without jealousy. They remembered how you believed in their future during moments when they could barely believe in themselves. Suddenly they understood that the greatest gift you had ever given them was not a single conversation or memory. It was the quiet confidence that slowly grew inside them because someone like you had believed they were capable of becoming better. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, while these conversations were unfolding, I was also walking beside you. There were seasons when you quietly wondered whether loving with such sincerity had accomplished anything at all. You questioned whether your unseen kindness had simply disappeared into yesterday. You wondered if people remembered only your mistakes while forgetting your compassion. Hear me clearly today. Every unseen act of grace continues echoing through hearts long after the moment has passed. The encouraging words you forgot about years ago continue strengthening someone today. The forgiveness you offered continues breaking cycles of bitterness. The hope you planted continues growing where your eyes cannot yet see. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because your soulmate's mother finally spoke the words that completed the entire journey. She looked directly into your soulmate's eyes and quietly said, "If this person ever becomes part of your future, don't spend your life trying to impress them. Spend your life protecting the peace they carry." Hearts like this are gifts. They deserve gratitude, honesty, loyalty, and respect every single day. Those words completely transformed your soulmate's understanding of love. They realized that genuine love is not built through dramatic promises alone. It is built through daily appreciation, truthful conversations, faithful actions, and the willingness to protect another person's heart with the same care they have shown yours. As evening quietly settled beneath the stars, your soulmate walked outside carrying your photograph one final time. They looked toward the sky and whispered a heartfelt prayer. "Thank you for allowing me to see beyond appearances. Thank you for helping me discover the extraordinary soul hidden behind ordinary moments. Thank you because now I understand that real beauty is found in humility, patience, compassion, and quiet strength." If I am ever blessed with the opportunity to walk beside this remarkable heart again, I will never allow familiarity to replace gratitude. My beloved child, before returning inside, they made one final promise. It was not spoken loudly. It was whispered into the peaceful night where only I could hear it. I promised to appreciate what I once overlooked. I promise to speak gratitude before regret has the chance to grow. I promise never to assume that someone who loves quietly loves less deeply. And I promise that if our paths continue together, I will honor this heart with the same faithfulness it has shown everyone else. Listen to this because this message is for you. This story was never only about your photograph being shown to someone's mother. It was about truth being revealed one layer at a time. It was about a mother recognizing kindness before she ever heard your full story. It was about a child discovering that admiration grows strongest when it is rooted in character rather than appearances. Most importantly, it was about you remembering something that must never be forgotten. My beloved child, your worth has never depended on how many people immediately recognize your goodness. Your worth has always lived in the quiet choices you make when no one is watching, in the compassion you continue giving after disappointment, in the integrity you protect when easier paths appear, and in the love you offer without demanding applause. As this journey comes to its end, carry this final truth into every new season of your life. Continue being the person whose kindness remains steady. Continue protecting your gentle spirit without surrendering your wisdom. Continue believing that genuine character is never invisible, even when it feels unnoticed. The right hearts will recognize it. The right conversations will reveal it. The right moments will honor it. That unforgettable night began with a single photograph, but it ended with two hearts realizing that the greatest treasure they had been looking at was never the picture itself. It was the extraordinary soul reflected within it. And that, my beloved child, is the ending of this story. A journey where admiration became respect, respect became gratitude, and gratitude became a lasting reminder that the most beautiful hearts are often the quietest ones, faithfully changing the world one act of love at a time.